Now, EU leaders are meeting for a two-day summit in the shadow of a deepening dispute with member state Poland. A top Polish court recently found certain parts of EU law were incompatible with its own constitution, a ruling that's been described as a direct challenge to the bloc's legal order. Jessica Parker explains the tensions from Brussels.
There isn't necessarily going to be unanimity here over what to do. What many people agree here, at least in Brussels, from the kind of Brussels perspective, is that ruling from Poland's constitutional court poses something of an existential crisis to the legal bedrock of the European Union, and therefore something has to be done about it. That's certainly a view you hear regularly here in Brussels, although Mateusz Morawiecki very insistent when he spoke earlier in the week that the ruling had been misunderstood, even suggesting there were examples of powers from the European Union via court rulings overreaching into national boundaries. But as EU leaders meet here this evening, it's interesting to note that the rule of law crisis, as some people have dubbed it, wasn't even an official item on the agenda. It will be touched upon, we're told, by the President of the Council, Charles Michel. We don't really know how much that conversation, as they all sit around a table, will take off and could even get heated, or whether there'll be a sense that actually they don't want this to completely overshadow things here. They also want to talk about, for example, migration and the surge in energy prices. So there are big topics that are officially actually on the agenda that leaders will want to get to as well.
Yeah, fascinating. And I wonder, Jessica, whether this latest row is because it's just happened in the last week or so. It's a new item on the agenda rather than kind of, as you say, now allowing it to dominate the whole summit.
Yeah, so it was interesting yesterday. Charles Michel released his sort of invitation letter, something of a formality, but it was there he acknowledged that rule of law, although he didn't specifically name Poland, would be touched upon. And I think that is partly because some people were really pushing it, some nations were really pushing for it to be discussed. They didn't think the matter could be ignored. Others probably less keen because they don't want the summit to be overshadowed. And I think what will be very important as well is clearly the things that Angela Merkel, the outgoing German Chancellor, has to say. This is likely, although not certainly, but likely to be her last summit as German Chancellor. She's clocked up something like 107 in her many years in office, but she has been urging a more conciliatory approach, really trying to dial down the rhetoric, because things did get pretty heated earlier in the week.
That was Jessica Parker there. Now, the President of the European Commission was heading into the meeting just a few minutes ago, and she did list that dispute with Poland as the first topic leaders will be addressing today. Have a listen.
This is not new. This is an ongoing process. But with the recent ruling of the Constitutional Court, this has taken a new dimension. So I'm looking forward to the discussions with the leaders. We all have to take a responsibility when it comes to protecting our fundamental values.